Morning, everybody. Happy Monday. Time for some more development league streaming. Today, what do we want to accomplish today? Excuse me. Probably should have cracked my LaCroix before I got started. All right. Today we're gonna play again. We're gonna play a game or two to look for in-game type of things, just lay it down on tape. But I think because we're getting to the point where things are so small, and from stream to stream, you might not see a lot of huge differences. Um, just because the base game engine's pretty much set. I'm just kind of nibbling around the edges right now. Doing little things like improving AI here and there, kind of interface transitions from one screen to another, making sure buttons look right. Like all really little, not super interesting things. And now I'm working on the behind the scene. I'm working on the Tebow update, working on the college game, which it's one of those things where you don't really do a whole lot in the college game. It's more of wouldn't if you're really interested in it, this is a fun thing to do, but it doesn't really change anything. So that's kind of making, I guess, for a short list of things that we can talk about during the streams and during the videos. So I'm going to start mixing in some of what are we working on next. I've just started this week, and I just started putting together the Marbury project. In short, that's an alternate player movement and AI system that I'm tinkering with. I'll probably talk a little bit about that during the game, just to kind of highlight why even do another movement system. This is already, what am I on now? The third movement system since I started working on this game. But it's worth talking about and worth talking through for me to listen back and say, oh, okay, that's what I was thinking. But also talking about where it fits in terms of the games, and does it fit into this game, does it fit into the next game, all that kind of stuff. So I think you'll probably start hearing, as I start to ramble on in game, you'll start hearing about what's coming. What are the tech things I'm working on in the background. What are my next projects? Where am I at for my thought process for the next projects and things like that. So, be prepared for that. I've been known to ramble on about things. Chances are that's what I'm going to ramble on about. There we go. So, as you can see, I'm on, I've made some updates. I'm on 031 now. We'll just load up the league. And some of the updates I made between Friday and now, they're pretty small. I made another, because I made that boost for open field running, kick returns again got a little bit, not super overpowered. I mean, in the last video they were okay. They were a little bit too effective, but yeah, they were reasonable. I started this morning, one of the things I was doing is I was simming along, or I wasn't simming, I was actually watch mode a full season with a team that was drafted specifically to test a certain part of the real-time engine versus the FastSim engine. And that team ended up with a really good kick returner. And I was kind of sitting back and watching it, and that kick returner was breaking, I guess, more than you would really want for touchdowns. I could look at the teams and I could say, oh well, this is just a really good kick return blocking team and all that. And some of the other teams didn't have great kick coverage, but if that's the way, if it's going to be that hard to get a good kick coverage team, we probably should do something to adjust. So I did. I made some adjustments, not huge, pretty subtle, but they are giving a little bit of a boost to kick coverage. Another thing I did was, what else did I do? Oh, I added a pause button for somebody in the the Steam form has asked for a pause button for watched games. Added that. I actually ended up using it a few times, so good thing I added that in there. What else? Some minor interface things. I think that's about it. I did some stuff behind the scenes for the college game, for watching college games, but nothing huge yet. So anyway, we are. Let's take a look at my team. Oh, I did. So, oh yeah, the last stream I noticed cut off before the off season, so nobody got to see my off season. It wasn't super exciting. The biggest thing that happened is I traded my starting quarterback for the #1 overall pick, and since nobody saw the stream, you basically would have seen 10 minutes of me agonizing over making that trade. But I eventually made the trade. I don't remember who I traded them to, but yeah, he was my starting quarterback was hitting 27 or 28, 20, somewhere around 28. I don't know, it might have been 29. I think it was 29. So he was just hitting the peak of his career. It was the best he's ever going to be. My team had a great season. So of course I thought that's the perfect time to trade my starting quarterback. But this guy, this Albert Salazar, $44 as a rookie. My quarterback was valued of around 48, I think 48 or $50. So, you know, if you just look at pure talent, regardless of age, they're fairly close. Obviously my old quarterback was better, but the fact that this guy's only 22 years old ended up tipping the scales for me. And I was switching my team. I'm starting to rebuild my team in my style. So my thought process was, all right, when are you going to have an opportunity to get the #1 quarterback? The #1 pick in the draft, which is also a quarterback, we could also step in and start playing right away. Yeah, that opportunity is not going to come a lot for my team. So I made the trade. So the Salazar era begins now. Rookie quarterback starting immediately. I didn't do a whole lot in. Got some feedback there. Hang on. I didn't do a whole lot in free agency. I came out of the draft with one spot in free agency, and I ended up just re-signing Kid. So if you look at finances, I just re-signed him. I had him before. I ended up being short a D lineman, so I just re-signed him in free agency. No biggie. I got a new offensive lineman in the draft. I flipped an offensive lineman I had for to trade up to take this guy. He's not as good, but he's a pass blocker. And if you remember, one of the problems I had is I had two just grinded out run blockers, but the one on the every once in a while I would just start getting just demolished by speedy pass rushers because I only had one pass blocker. So what I did is I gave up a really good offensive lineman run blocker to draft a rookie that's more balanced. So I did that. What else did I do? I switched to my standard offense: 2 wide receivers, running back, 1 tight end. I stayed with I went to a 3 linebacker coach for defense. I'm still trying out defenses. I'm less invested in defense than I am offense. What else? Oh, I drafted. Who else? I think I traded somebody else and traded up and got a rookie corner and a rookie linebacker. Yep, I did trade a bunch of my not necessarily older players, but the guys that have been around for a while. I traded a bunch of them to get a bunch of rookies just because I'm remaking my team. So I might have a tough season when it comes to defense. Like this rookie I got is just a pure blitzer. He's terrible. I run a zone defense, and he's got a 1 for zone defense. So I, just roll the dice. Let's see what happens. I think he's my quarterback's brother. So, Albert and Edwin Salazar. So, he lobbied hard. I had to draft him. Rookie corner. I got this rookie late. I think this is my second rounder. He's just a special teamer. I think that was it. Yeah, quarterback, O-line, designated blitzer, and a corner, and then my special teamer at the end. So that's where my team ended up. I'll check out my offensive coordinator. Yeah, I mean, not bad. I do want to make sure I have a couple of tight end plays because I got a few tight end plays. All right, my team's probably good to let's refresh it a couple times. I don't like that max slants. There we go. Max high low is okay though. Tight end, tight end, tight end, tight end. Okay, I got some good tight end plays. Got some running plays. Got a couple of RPOs. Let's see if I can get a better RPO. I want an RPO with a tight end in it. I don't want max slant, so I don't really like that play. This could work. A couple of new. There's a few new pass plays in there I can try out. Yeah, let's do this. All right, this will work. We might switch up again, but that's what we'll go with. And then I just want to make sure I have a zone defense. I need a blitz 3. It would be nice if I had a blitz 3 out of a zone. Blitz 3. There we go. I'll probably play a lot of that one. Oh, that's a blitz 3. Okay, that works. All right, let's save that. And I did propose one trade. I'm proposing to flip Kemp, which is my top. He probably is my best special teamer. He's a special team stud, but I want to flip him and get some wide receiving help because I'm trying to develop this rookie with this passing game, but I gotta get receivers. I can't wait too long to get receivers. So I've made one trade offer. We're gonna fast sim the preseason because I don't care. Check my news. Did they take my trade? Yes, they took my trade. So let's get this guy into. Where is he? Oh, they auto. Dang it, they auto depth chart me. All right, I'm gonna have to think about how I manage depth charts because this auto depth charting is really annoying me now. I'm gonna have to worry about. I'm gonna have to do something about that. There you go, future Sean. Fix that. That is super annoying. Tight end. Ramsey's gonna play tight end. What I'm thinking I might have to do is put some locks on players. So, like maybe. You can designate a couple of guys, like you toggle maybe if you click on the position, it locks that guy's position, so when you auto depth chart he can't be changed, maybe something like that. Maybe that might work. Yeah, because this is kind of annoying. Oh. They're like a half forgotten who I start where. McIntosh. I know it's McIntosh and Hart as my corners. I know Jones is he's a pretty stud safety. Fierce is my top linebacker. The designated blitzers, number 3. I just traded for this guy to be wide receiver. This guy's my other wide receiver. And who am I looking? Linebacker 2. So one of these guys. These are both but kind of the same. He's got a better tackle. He does. He can be linebacker 2. And then special teams. Yeah, I think I gotta do like a lock or something because this is really annoying me. Where is kick return? Sweeney's always my kick returner. Put Salazar. Let's make Salazar the punt returner. He can't do anything else. Sure, we're sorted by speed, and then let's just start filling in special teams. Special teams. 2. 3. He's pretty good. 4. He's pretty good. 5. 6. 7. And we'll just throw this guy down there just on a... Actually, let's make him 7. Make this guy 8. Put a burner on there just in case somebody breaks free. Alright, we'll save it. Yeah. Alright, I think that'll be the next big tweak I make, is adding a lock or something like that. Alright. Back to the games. Let's play. Yeah, see, special teams now is a lot more aggressive. I hope I don't overdo it because it's, you know, kick returns are fun, but if I had to pick no kick return touchdowns or make, you know, super rare kick return touchdowns or super, I guess, consistent kick return touchdowns, I think I'd rather make them rare. Oof. Let's what do we got here? All right, so not a good old line, but not a great offensive team here. We're gonna go pass rush like almost exclusively. Let's blitz this guy. Let's blitz the designated blitzer. Boom! All right, nice. Let's run rush. Oof, they are slow on punt coverage. Yikes. All right, let's start off running. Quick read. Oh, interesting. This must be one of my new ones. Let's see what they look like on. Oh my. Okay, good defense. There's Wiggins. Remember that guy? Great. Oh, I kind of like that play. It didn't work, but it was. That was. I like how it looked. The timing was nice. Let's do a pass. I added some more of these deep plays. A couple of these are just kind of experimental, like this deep rub. The idea is they both run up, and then one crosses over the top of the other, and either this guy gets a rub and comes open, or this guy, you know, maybe he just gets a hole in the zone. It's a super simple play, but it's max protect as well. So there it is. There's the rub. Well, he didn't actually get a rub, but that was how it was supposed to work. So that's kind of cool. Let's see how the tight end handles this team. Oh, dude. Yeah, I'm gonna have some bad throws. Let's run it. Just. Oh, let's see how the timing is on this. Good. Good pause. All right. What else we got? Oh yeah, I finally fixed the page numbers. These so it wasn't always adding that one extra page. I mean, it was a small thing, but it started to annoy me eventually. There it is. There it is. Throw it. Oh. I think we're going to smoke this team. Yeah. See, I like how it's working out. The changes to special teams. Blitz. Oh god, the blitzer. Even though he's my designated blitzer, he's not great. Oh man. I wonder if DNs are too slippery. I don't know. I don't know. In the other game, you didn't have a ton of these really fast, athletic DNs. That seems to be who we're getting now, though. So I don't know. I'll have to keep an eye on that. I also did, on the blocking calculations, I love this play. I lowered the amount of, I don't know if you would call it like block stickiness. Just mostly to help the defense guys come off of blocks. But that also means that pass rushers are also getting that benefit of the reduced block stickiness. So I don't know if I went too far on that or not. Yeah, we'll see. All right, we need to get 9 yards. Oof! I think he stole it! I think he stole that catch! Oh, awesome. Did I miss that? Ah. Alright, so watch these guys cover now. Come down. Boop, 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 boop. Yeah. Good coverage. I kind of wish they would score on me so I could try mine out, because I know my kick blocking is excellent. I don't think that DN's even blocking him. What is he doing? I wonder if my block assignment AI needs some work. I mean, it's been good for a long time, but he's coming across for some reason. I wonder why that is. Let's see if my guys are doing it too. So if I run, let's just run a really simple dive play. So the way my AI is... Oh, never mind. So the way my AI is set up, this is what the theory of my AI is right now. I remember I used to have that angle AI, where like if I was running here, this guy would block down on him, he would come across and block him, so that they would get, like, they'd do this, and then they would both have leverage pushing out, which is cool for some plays. Like running up the middle especially, it works great. But like when you run out here, the angles get weird, so like this guy will try to come out here, this guy will try to come over here, and basically everybody just tackles the running back. So I tried to switch to more of a zone blocking scheme where each guy's got their lane, and so this guy will block him, this guy will block him, and this guy will come up and try to block somebody. I'm wondering if when I have the guy figure out who's in his lane, if I'm using absolute distance from the player, because if I am, the center is closer to him than this guy is, because he's off the line. So that would give the center priority on him, and he would have to find somebody else to block. Let's see if that's what happens. That's what happened. Yep. Alright, well, that's easy enough to fix. I can globally fix that. I can do one of two things. I actually think the right way to fix this is to move these guys up a little bit. I think they're too far off the line. Maybe if I move them up like a half a yard, if I move everybody who's off the line up a half a yard, that's probably the right way to fix that. Let's sweep. I want to sweep again. Because I do want them to take absolute distance, I think, because what I don't want, as I'm thinking through this out loud here, I don't want, let's just say, let's find a scenario where this would be a problem. If there were 3 down linemen, nope, that's not what I'm thinking. Yeah, this is a good example. I don't want my center trying to block him. I want my center blocking him, or if those guys are already blocked, like I want him blocking somebody closer. If I do a pure, you create your zone and you try to match up somebody in that zone, you could get guys that are too far away being their primary block target. And you could fix that by saying, okay, do your zone, now do a distance calculation, and if it's only there, but if he's the only guy left, then maybe you do want to block him. And you could kind of go through levels of checks to get there. But what I want to do is have them pick their guy with 1 check. I don't want to keep cycling and doing extra checks if I don't have to. So I kind of like the absolute distance as the first check. Well, the first check is the guy blocked already, but kind of the next, assuming you've got a list of guys who are unblocked, absolute distance. I just got to make sure that if a guy is lined up over the top of an offensive lineman, that it makes sense that if you're lined up right over top of an offensive lineman, that offensive lineman should be the closest guy to you. That should make sense. So that's why I think moving the off lineman up is probably the right choice. That also might help the pass rushing issue because the defensive linemen then are getting less space to do that mass kind of juke and stuff. I think that might solve that issue too. Let's try this one. Oh man, that was a bad zone. Yikes. That was a terrible zone. Yeah, one thing I've realized, I think what I'm going to do before the Tebow update comes out, I think I'm going to delete every zone play that I have right now, and I'm going to start from scratch and recreate all the zones. I think I have a good understanding of how zone works in this game now, which is funny because I made the game. But zone doesn't work. Like once you get the individual AI, I always knew how the individual AIs worked, but once you get past like, okay, well this guy's AI means he'll do this and this and this, but you start putting them all together and seeing what it means for team zone, team defense, that kind of took me a little while to understand the implications of individual AI on team defense, and I think I get it now. And what I think I get right now is not even close to what I thought it was when I first designed all the AI, which is kind of funny, but I think what it means is I need to redesign all of the zone plays with this new knowledge. So I think that's going to be a part of the Tebow update. 4th and 8, they're already in going for it range. Well, you know what we're going to do? Let's blitz everybody. Let's do it. Yeah, nice. I'm really falling in love with this quarterback. I'm just going to keep passing. I really like this quarterback. I also, one thing you might notice, I've added more blitz pickup plays. So not every pass play now is every receiver go. I'm starting to design some plays where I leave a blocker back. Sometimes it's the running back, sometimes it's the tight end, sometimes it's both. Um, that's another thing. And another one of those things I learned. Yeah, look how bad this zone is. I got 3 guys here, and these 2 guys are just looking like idiots. Yeah, another thing I learned is just you can't block with 3 linemen all the time. You just can't do it. You're going to get destroyed. So, starting to leave guys back, and it's really helping my pass game. God, this zone is terrible. This has to be a zone team. These guys are just garbage. Nice. Nice to see my kicker woes are still happening. Yeah, so I'm really liking the blitz pickup guys. That's kind of cool. Let's try some experimenting. Let's blitz all 3 and see who gets there first. Now he ran it. Oh. So that was interesting. This is kind of what I was looking at. All 3 are blitzing. That means all 3 get set on the blitz timer, right? And you remember that blitz timer. I set it up now so that people don't just blitz right away. The blitz timer is set up based on your blitz ability. So by blitzing all your linebackers together, you can kind of see like when they start to blitz, the relative skill that they have and how that translates into blitz time. Of course, if they run it, it doesn't matter, but you know. Blitz. Oh, get him! Yeah. They're gonna go for it. Yeah. Oh, I thought that juke was gonna get it. Yeah, so I'm liking leaving my running back in. Well, although he's a pretty good pass catcher, but leaving the running back in for pass blocking and these guys just going out. I kind of like that. Oh, I'm just roasting that corner. Love it. Woo. I think we might be a passing team now. Eight and 9, 200 yards, 5 touchdowns. Not bad. Not bad. The Salazar brothers. Wiggins. At least we kept Wiggins out of the end zone. Oh, man. Alright, let's finish off the week. Save it. Alright. Let's take a look at college. Alright, so I've got one thing I've done is I've got all the colors, the base colors in for college now. So the schedule looks a little prettier. Also, if you go to like the draft preview, oh, that's not it. Schedule, standings. Oh, yeah, never mind. College hasn't played yet. You'll see college, you know, you'll see the college teams too, with the little color bar. I think in the leaders and stuff. But anyway, yeah, so I'm getting there. I got the Big Ten and the SEC all have uniforms now. Just kind of working my way, like in the afternoon when I don't have the energy to do any really hard programming. I'll just sit down and start tinkering with the uniforms and just kind of working my way through college. So, you know, that's getting there. It'll be done by the time the Tebow update comes out. What else did I do? I did some tinkering on training. You probably won't see it unless you've watched it really intensely like I have. That's getting a little better. We're going to get... Basically, I tinkered with it on the positive end. So, players develop a little better. Just basically that. Especially in the off season. What else? Coach evaluation has been upgraded a couple of times since Friday. They're just getting better and better at managing their players and knowing who's a good player and who's not a good player. So we're getting there. All right, Storm. I don't really want to play the Storm. They're not very interesting uniforms wise. Let's just sim that one. I lost. Who we got? I love the Horde. Let's play the Horde. I don't intend on trading. I'm not a big... if anybody's watching it hasn't noticed already, I'm not a big trades guy. I love building through the draft. I'll trade up in the draft all day, but I don't usually love trading for vets. I don't know. It's just hard for me to invest in a guy who I didn't draft. That's just my style. Alright, let's save it. Let's play. I'm just thinking, do I want to play? Let's do something different. I'll play later. Let's watch a college game. Let's get one of these on tape. We're not going to watch the whole game, but we'll watch a little bit. Iowa, Minnesota. First things first, let's look at Iowa. Alright, what do they have? A pretty bad quarterback who... Why is he playing quarterback? I have no idea. He's probably the last player. This is a really poor job of putting their depth chart together. Wide receiver. Oh, I know why. Oh, shoot. Okay. Because I changed player evaluation. I think... I wonder if they're going to auto depth chart correctly. So he should be wide receiver, but he should not be wide receiver 2. Oh, unless my coach is creating... Well, if I just go like this, he still should not be wide receiver 2. Alright, we're going to have to take a look at this. Why is this depth chart screwy? Yep, I got to think about that. Chances are it's speed, but that makes no sense. He should be wide receiver 2. Anyway, I'll check that out. No big deal. He's still a wide receiver. It doesn't really matter if he's 1 or 2. Alright. So, this is not a great team. This whole depth chart is jacked up. Alright, so we're not going to watch a college game until I get that figured out. Yeah, this depth chart is totally jacked. I gotta... what I'm wondering is if I'm forgetting to do an auto depth chart somewhere in there. Because if you go to... Like, if you go to these you go to the pro teams. So let's close this. Let's go to a pro team that's not mine. So we'll look at the Horde. They have their guys playing the right positions. Yep, wide receiver 1, wide receiver 2. This is the best running back, best quarterback. Offensive line's the best offensive lineman. D-line 1's the best D-lineman. Corner 1 and corner 2 are the right corners. So, like, this is how the depth chart should look. I think I'm positive college coaches aren't getting auto depth charted. I bet that's what's happening. Let's look at a couple of other college teams. Minnesota. Yeah, they're not getting auto depth charted. This guy should be quarterback. This guy should be the top wide receiver. Yeah, they're not getting auto depth charted. Alright, that's easy fix. I'll fix that one. So that just means we're not going to watch this. It doesn't really hurt that much. But it's something I got to get fixed. So I'll fix that as soon as we're done simming. So we'll skip over that then. Let's just play a game. Whatever. Actually, let's look at the draft. What's the draft gonna look like? 40. All right, so I'm starting to get the top picks around 40. Like the first screen ends around the high 20s. Second screen's in the mid 20s. So that's kind of the guys who automatically make the draft. It seems to be pretty consistent right now. I mean, we're 2023, and we're still getting that. So that's pretty good. One other thing I did is I did the full season real-time engine sim test. I was doing that all morning, and what I found was at least for the passing and the rushing game, which are those are the big things I was worried about. If you play every single game, you line up pretty well with where the leaders are for fast sim. So it's not like, you know, football games used to be where, you know, if you played every game, you'd have 5,000 yards passing, and number 2 on the leaderboard would have 2,000 yards passing. So they line up pretty well. I picked did the allocation draft, number 1 quarterback in the league, was in the mid 90s. Next 4 picks were all wide receiver. And then I just let the team auto draft the rest. So basically, I had the ultimate passing team. All 4 wide receivers had above 90 receiving. You know, my quarterback had a 98 pass accuracy. So I had like the most legit passing game you could possibly have. I actually ended up number 3 on passing yards. I was number 1 in rating because I had, I think, 5 more touchdowns than the next guy. But we both had 5 interceptions. So it was, you know, I could have lost the passing title to an AI controlled quarterback who didn't have nearly the weapons that I did. Ooh, that's nice. So I feel pretty good about the real-time engine and how it stacks up with the fast sim engine. I'm pretty happy with that. On the rushing game, it was a little bit harder to get a real rush test because like basically every one of my teams is a rushing team, and it came out. I didn't win the rushing title. I think I ended up being 3rd. I didn't even have as many rushes as a guy above me. Oh man. So, but it came out reasonable. I didn't just completely dominate the league, that's really what I was looking for. So I feel like the fast sim and the real time engine at the pro level is pretty. I think they're on par. I think they're good. Now the problem is at the low end, the college, and that's why I wanted to sim it, or I wanted to play the college league. But obviously, the depth charts being messed up might be contributing to the problem. But college real time looks like complete garbage, and I'm starting to wonder if that's the depth chart issue. But if it's not, I gotta work on that. The biggest problem is quarterbacks and running backs. Mostly quarterbacks can't hit anything. They're so inaccurate. It makes the game look like garbage. Running backs basically are just running right into the line. It's really bad. So that's what I'm working on now, is getting that to college. That means they're so bad in the real-time engine, they don't match up with the fast sim at all. It's just totally a mess. Ooh. Oh, that's cool. So it looks like these guys are running man. So I get to see some of these plays up against man. Let's see this one. So anyway, fast sim. That's what I gotta work on, is making college match fast sim. There's the rub. Oh, he bailed too soon. Come on, man. It worked. I think the rub worked. All right, let's run. Oh, I haven't run this. So this is another one of those experimental plays to see what it does to the AI. This is man, so it's probably not going to do anything. But the idea was I'd run these two guys in these weird kind of angles to see what it does to the safeties. And I'm thinking either like the safety's going to shade over here, which means he leaves this guy open, or he's going to cover this guy, which means this guy's open. And I purposely put the number one wide receiver just stop right here because he usually has the number one corner on him, and that basically takes him out of the play. So that's what this play is all about. It looks dumb, but that's what it is. Oh. I'll run it again. Huh. It's interesting what that corner is doing. Not what I would have expected. Oh, 4th and 9. Punt. Alright, let's just zone it up. Yeah, I think decreasing that space between the D tackles and the D line is going to make a big difference. In fact, I'm going to just make a note right now. Yeah, offensive tackle, D line space. All right. Let's do some blitzing. I don't want to drop that guy back in. Cover it. Oh, oh, yeah, jeez. Let's see. Let's run some. I want to get some more of these runs. These we'll run at different angles to try to look at this matchup here. That's what I want to look at. Is what does he do when I go at different spots? Okay, never mind. Oh, funny. Let me check this. Yep. Are we still, yeah, we're still playing. Okay. Gotta check my stream. It cut out last time. Boom! Ooh, he almost broke it. It is nice to know that given all the advantage that I gave the coverage, that it's still possible to have a really good return. I think part of the reason mine hasn't looked quite as electric is because I did trade an elite special teamer to get that wide receiver. I'm glad I did it, but I think that's hurting my special teams. Cord keeps getting stuck on my chair. Boom. Let's just drop everybody back. Yeah, I think he's just got so much space for pass rushing. Right. Let's pass some more. I'm doing so well on passing. Let's keep doing it. Let's run this one. Yeah, that pick play's not quite working out like I had hoped. Oh, I got in. Oh, my tight end, finally. I wonder why that pick play, they run into each other so much. Oh, it's probably a good time to talk about the Marbury project. So what happened there is a perfect example of why I'm messing with player movement engine. The way I have my movement engine, you know, with that square and looking at all the points and figuring out based on each point, doing a calculation and saying, okay, is there anybody here? Avoid collisions. You know, how close is this point to the route I want to run? How close is this point to, you know, the optimal path to the end zone? And like I'm doing all these calculations, and it's it's heavy. It's very heavy. It's actually pretty effective, but it's heavy. And one of the problems is when I talk about avoid collisions, what I'm really talking about is avoid collisions with the defense. So like if I'm offense and I'm doing avoid collisions, I just don't want to run into the defense because they can tackle me. If I were to, and that's why those wide receivers are running into each other, because they're not seeing each other as a threat. That's easy enough to do to make them see each other as a threat. The problem is, if I'm going to do that in real time, I'm going from calculating each point for 8 players on the other side to calculating each point times 8 players on the other side plus 7 players on my side. So I'm really increasing the number of evaluations that I'm doing. And oh my god, I thought he picked it off. And like the better I want to get my AI, the more of those calculations I'm going to have to do, and just frankly, the slower this engine's going to get. And eventually, not only do I want to do more interesting things in the engine, actually I like this. I want to see if he can get over here. You know, like maybe, like I want to create, you know, like the Cyberball remake. I want to do that. But one of the things I want to do is I want the mechs in the Cyberball to, you know, have like special moves or special attacks or special defenses. Like I wanted to be able to do these things like little powers or whatever. Something interesting other than run. Just to kind of give it some flavor and just make it really fun and interesting. But I can't like just, I can't use all that processing for evaluating where to move. So the Marbury engine is my attempt to take movement and simplify it even more to make it so it's faster, it's simpler. Adding AI in doesn't mean rewriting anything. It just means adding a tiny little AI chunk and turning it on or off. So that I'm leaving space for all these other things I want to do in the engine. So like while a guy's running, you know, think of it in terms of a person. If you're running, I want you to spend less time thinking about where you're running and more time thinking about, hey, should I, is this time for me to unleash a power? You know, should I, is it strategically advantage for me to run over here to follow this block or to try to outrun this direction? Like I want to be thinking more than just functionally how can I run without running into people. So that's what the Marbury engine is to take everything I've learned so far in my movement engine, what works and what doesn't work, and strip it down and make it really easy, really light, so that I can save processing for more interesting things. The other thing I want to do with it is I want to make it droppable into any game. I want it to be generic enough so that with just giving it a few rules, like, you know, I want to do the Cyberball game, but I also want to do a college football game. And the Cyberball game probably will be 8-on-8. So it'll be very similar to this, except, you know, robot. It'll have like mechs and all that other cool stuff. But the college football game is going to be 11-on-11. And it's going to be very traditional football. Now, I want the same movement engine to work for both games. I want to just be able to drop it into the Cyberball game, you know, make a few little tweaks, make a few little changes to, you know, what are the rules of this game, what do I have to do, worry about when I'm moving, what's the field size look like, stuff like that. Then take that, also drop it into the college game and say, oh, okay, by the way, there's 11 players in this game, you know, the field is this big, these are the rules for movement, without having to rewrite everything. Because I've got like 3 major football type projects in my mind, and I don't want to rewrite the movement engine or the AI engine for all 3. I want to use the same basic guts and just toggle on and off which AIs I want to use. If I have to create a new AI, just a very simple, hey, this is like for the Cyberball engine, let's just say I put a gun, I gave the defenders guns or something like that, right? I just want to have a very simple, well, you know, as I'm evaluating AI, do I want to shoot at somebody? Just plug it in without having to reevaluate. You know, what order do I do that? You know, do I have to sacrifice some movement to do that? Don't want to change the AI structure at all. I just want to just like plop stuff in and turn it on and say, okay, now evaluate this while you're evaluating everything else. Oh, by the way, you know, if you have a gun, you're a stationary turret, so uncheck movement, uncheck collisions, you know, uncheck follow, do check on target acquisition, you know, and just like, I want my AI to be like that. So that's the goal of the Marbury engine. It's going to use it's not going to use the point cloud to figure out where to go. I'm going to try to use steering because from what I've found so far, it looks like it's going to be faster and simpler. So I'm messing around with it. I only have a couple of AIs in there. It's not real sophisticated, but within just like an hour, I got this thing, you know, 20 guys chasing one guy and one guy trying to weave his way to get to the end zone. And just by clicking on different AIs, I've got it so that he can either navigate around them really fast, or he can, what else can he do? Or he can just play like keep away and not try to go up to the end zone. If I just unclick, try to run to the end zone. For the defenders, I can like turn on collision avoidance with your team, and they kind of spread and try to stay out, or you know, turn it off and they just run right at the guy. So it's working pretty well. I'll be curious what happens when I start putting formations and plays in. Does it still feel like it's just as flexible as it does right now? But we'll see. So, you ever hear me working about the Marbury project? That's what that's about. The plug and play movement engine. That's what we're going for, and I'm building that for future games. If it ends up being really awesome, I mean, who knows? Maybe I'll plug it in here, maybe not. I don't know. Maybe I'll plug it into another version of this game. I don't know. We'll figure it out as we go. But anyway, saving the league, because I'm going to probably play another couple of games. I got 2 games on tape right now. I'm a little bummed out about the college teams not doing their depth chart, so I'm actually going to end the stream and go fix that like right now, because that really bugs me. And while I'm fixing that, I'll probably listen to the tape and see if there's anything else I got to put on my list. Yeah, my list is small from the last one, other than stuff like, oh, when I'm shopping a player, take away the team value. There's one camera issue. It doesn't transition as quickly as I'd like. It's just stuff like that. Other than delete all the zone plays and start from scratch. So that'll be a big one. But yeah, otherwise things are looking pretty good. So stay tuned. If I get burned out on programming, I may play a couple of more games today. If not, stay tuned for tomorrow. Maybe I'll be able to show off the college fix, and then if it's fixed, I think we'll watch a college game just so I can look at how do college teams look in the game engine, and you know, what do I need to adjust, things like that. So that's it for today. See you later.